Well, the Indianapolis Colts just completed game 2 of the NFL preseason against the Green Bay Packers. We're going to cover everything about the game, including the QB battle, who's going to be QB3, how good is this running back room, is Tyler Warren going to have this big of an impact, is the defense in major trouble, and so much more. What's going on? It's Elijah from Sports Talk Indy, where we cover all things Colts every single day, and there's so much to get into from this preseason game, so we're going to give an in-depth look at every single part of it. So the first part of it was Daniel Jones took the first team reps with going 7 for 11 for 101 yards, including a great sideline pass to Tyler Warren and effective connections with Michael Pittman Jr. He looked good. Obviously, there were some things that you want to see better. My thing with Daniel Jones is this is his first year in the system. He's only had a few weeks under Shane Steichen, a few weeks of this offense. You expect to see some stuff, but obviously Daniel Jones is never going to be the guy who's going to win you anything. You're hopefully not going to lose because of him, but you're definitely not going to win because of Daniel Jones. That being said, that drive, the initial drive, ended with a Spencer Schrader 25-yard field goal to put Indianapolis on the board. Now, the rest of the second half was led by Anthony Richardson, who had what would be described mostly as a really, really good first half for Anthony Richardson. Second quarter, he went 5 for 6 for 64 yards on that drive. He looked good. He looked poised. There was very few times that it really looked like he was frazzled or rushed. It was a 12-play, 90-yard drive, finishing with a 3-yard touchdown run by Tyler Goodson. He looked good. And honestly, if Richardson could play like that consistently, I think that he would have way more ahead than that. Austin Ajake set up another Spencer Schrader field goal because he recovered a fumble against the Green Bay Packers. And then this is the only first half score for the Green Bay Packers came on a 43-yard field goal. That bodes well for this Indianapolis Colts defense in that even their first and second team starters only were able to put up 3 points against them. The reason that I bring that up is because early reports from this week, including the joint practice against the Packers, had the Colts defense looking really, really abysmal against this team. And so it's good to see that they were only able to score 3 points against them. Again, it's preseason. Points are honestly, they don't count. There's nothing to point, but it is just worth noting, especially after what happened this week, where it looked as though this Green Bay Packers team was going to stomp after the first initial joint practice. So after that came the second half. Again, Richardson ended with he went 6 for 11, 5 for 6, and one rushing touchdown on that drive. It wasn't his rushing touchdown. And then obviously he led the best drive of the night with a 12-play, 90-yard sequence with perfect tempo and control. Here's where I think the play that may not even see highlights because it was called back because of a penalty on Adonai Mitchell was this play to this throw down the field to Anthony Gould, which looked incredible. It was over the shoulder. Anthony Gould was able to secure it in between two defenders, and it looked honestly incredible. The only reason it was called back was because of an offside on Adonai Mitchell, so it wasn't even anything that necessarily could be prevented by Richardson. My point on this being that if Richardson continues to be able to do this well with the offensive line, none of the first team, as far as I know, first team offensive linemen, specifically none of the star first team offensive linemen played tonight, which means Anthony Richardson was able to do this with almost no starting offensive linemen. I think that's worth noting, especially because Anthony Richardson struggles against the blitz. Here's kind of another thing that I want to point out is that one of the guys that really had an incredible day was the wide receiver Coleman Owen, who doubled as the punt and kick returner. He's a wide receiver out of Ohio, number 3, 5'10", 181 pounds, age 24. He was signed by the Colts as an undrafted free agent on May 8th of this year. I think this guy really looked good. There were quite a bit of plays that he was able to catch, quite a bit of punt returns, kick returns. He looked good. But honestly, my player of the game that I saw on offense specifically was Anthony Gould. His connection to Anthony Richardson looked very, very good. Beyond just the Anthony to Anthony connection, it looked awesome. It looked really, really good. One of the things I want to also point out is that there's another QB battle that's worth noting for the Indianapolis Colts, and that is for QB3. That might not sound like a big deal, but you've got Jason Bean, second-year quarterback out of Kansas, and then you've got Riley Leonard, first-year quarterback out of Notre Dame. When you look at these two's college resumes, honestly, you got to kind of lean towards Riley Leonard. And I like Riley Leonard. I think he's really good. He's been fun to watch. But man, you spend any amount of time watching Jason Bean, he is exciting. He is electric. His escapability, his ability to get out of the pocket and make on target throws every single time looks really great. And again, I'm not saying that Jason Bean is going to be the quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts, but it is going to be a worth noting of who is going to be QB3. Are they going to cut Riley Leonard? Are they going to cut Jason Bean? Either way, one of these guys is going to be cut. And honestly, either of these guys could be a really good backup quarterback in this league. I think that's a team worth noting. But one area I really want to highlight that I think the Colts took a massive step up for in this offensive portion, or even just in positional battles in general, was that DJ Giddens looks electric. He is incredible. Every single time he gets the ball, it looks like he is just stomping, almost like Isaiah Pacheco-esque. He looks good. And so this is going to be, I think, a really, really good running back room, especially if this offensive line stays healthy. Yeah, DJ Giddens looks incredible. Tyler Goodson's taken another step up. I think every single year he's been in the league, he's taken a step up and looks better and better and better. Obviously, it was tough to shake what happened his first season with the Colts, where he dropped it was almost like a screen pass. It was a dump out pass, dropped the play, and game was over. Houston Texans go on to win the division. It was heartbreaking. So Tyler Goodson obviously making incredible strides to defeat those narratives about him. He looks good. I think he's going to be the clear RB3 in that. This is a really good running back room, and obviously you need that in this. I think we can talk about it all day long until we're blue in the face. But the effect that Tyler Warren is going to have on this offense is going to be unbelievable. This guy looks good. His ability to catch the ball, his ability to get open, all looks really good. And especially when you've got a quarterback like Anthony Richardson, assuming Anthony Richardson gets the job, we don't know, assuming Anthony Richardson gets the job, a guy who kind of panics at the sight of a blitz, it's good to have dump out options. And I think Tyler Warren's going to be one of the better ones in the league. If you're a fantasy drafter, the two ones that I'm going to say I'm putting my hat on late round steals might be Tyler Warren if he's available. Who knows where he's going? But DJ Giddens, don't sleep on DJ Giddens, especially if you're in a 10 to 12, 14 league or a 14 team league. This is going to be really, really electric. And I think that if it all fits together, this Colts team could look really, really good. And again, this defense was they only gave up 3 points in the first half, obviously losing the game. But altogether, it does seem as though this team is really starting to kind of put it together, and I'm excited to see where we go through the rest of the season.